Hi, my friends. Hello. It's 12 o'clock, Tuesday, September 7th. Let's see who's here. I see 10 people in the house, 10 advisories, 12 advisories. Aloha, you guys. I hope you had a really nice Labor Day weekend. Today is Tuesday, and so today is our, we deliver some ike about our ahupua'a. Hi, Miss Pereira's class. And joining me, special guest, expert teacher, Kumu Gaspar. I know you guys, a lot of you who were in Miss Hurley's, Miss Pereira Rabago's class, and Mr. Robinson's class last week, Friday, got a special treat. And you are going to be hearing some of that information today, a special treat, learning more about our Kealakehe Ahupua'a. So I'm going to just deliver some updates today. But we are continuing the lessons on Kealakehe and our Ahupua'a. Lots of really good learning coming up. I know today I had promised to share with you who is the advisory winning the $50 gift card. So I'm going to actually share that with you guys tomorrow. All right. I know that quite a few of our teachers of our advisories have sent in to me either via email or via artwork. The advisory challenge about taking a look, listening to chant one of the Kumulipo. Remember, Queen Liliuokalani wrote the Kumulipo. That was one of the 2 books that she wrote. And she also composed many, many, many songs. But thank you for sending in the visual representations. I really appreciate it. We're going to be putting them out here in the office. Without further ado, I present to you Miss Kumu Gaspar. Girls, can we give her a round of applause? Yes. All right, thank you. Here you are, Miss Gaspar.
Mahalo, Miss Flavor. So, the questions I've been getting is, Kumu, what does Kealakehe mean? And from the stories I heard before, I heard it meant a bend in a path. So Keala is a pathway. And then I heard it's a path of the dead. And that's what I was told. And then when I keep researching and looking to other kumus, and then there's another meaning, and they say it means the pathway of the spirits. And then there's another one that says the pathway of our ancestors, so the people that lived here before our time. And the one meaning I came across that really I connected to is the pathway of being enlightened. So being that we're in this Kealakehe Ahupua'a, the pathway of our schools, our elementary, our intermediate, and our high school, to me, this is the pathway of being enlightened. And that's for Kealakehe. So our Ahupua'a is called the Kealakehe Ahupua'a, but we also have boundaries that are on the sides. Yeah, I've always heard, and I was always taught, it's from the mountain to the sea. That's Ahupua'a. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this part of the Ahupua'a. So if you guys can see, there's this pile of rocks, and they look at it like it's an altar. And on top of this pile of rocks is a carving of a pig's head. And so that would be what you would see on the side of the boundary of this Ahupua'a. So the Ahupua'a, every Ahupua'a, the land division from the mountain to the sea, but from the sides, meaning the north and the south side of this Ahupua'a. So the boundary would be the picture of the stones with a carved pig's head, and that would be the boundaries. So inside of every Ahupua'a, there was everything that the people needed. And so the chief, or the chief that would take care of each Ahupua'a, made sure that the people in that village or that Ahupua'a had everything they needed. The fresh water from the mountains, the plants, the medicinal plants. They were able to have their food, planting taro, planting sweet potato, uala, and even freshwater fish. They made sure that they had a kahavai where they would raise this freshwater fish, and they would take it all the way down to the ocean, down to the sea, to the kahakai. And then in that kahakai is where we would be having all the fish. And then they were able to build their canoes and take their canoes out onto the ocean and to catch fish from the sea. So everything was balanced out, where all the people and the ohana was taken care of. And for my experience, the area where I live is in the Kealakehe Ahupua'a, and I have tea leaf plants on both sides of my house and the back of my house. And just to imagine that my grandfather planted those tea leaf plants, and it's still there. And so the, kind of ha'olulu part, the scary part for me, was when my husband would go weed whacking in the yard, and then he would chop down these tea leaf plants, the key. And I would tell him why, and so it was, but the tea leaf plant, it never died. So even though he would hit the tea leaf plant with the weed whacker, it would take down the plant, but within several months, the plant would grow up strong and straight again. So it never died. It's in there. It's like it's in the ground, and it'll continue to grow, and it never dies. And just to think that all that tea leaf plants around my house, my grandfather planted it 30 years ago, and it's still there. So just to think about, the mana in that, in his hands as a mahi'ai, as a farmer, as a planter. And while he was living with me, because he got older and he needed to be taken care of, I told him, "Grandfather, why don't you plant some flowers?" And he looked at me, he got quiet, and that's how he would teach. He would just look at me, he would get quiet, put his head down, and then he look up at me, he tell me, "Baby, you gonna eat the flower?" And I tell him, "No." And he tell me, "Okay, that's why I only gonna plant what we can eat. I only gonna plant what we can share with ohana and with your neighbors, that whatever we get, we can share, and it's sustainable to eat." Because he grew up in a hard time. He was born in 1912. So he grew up in a time where there was struggle and the jobs, but he made sure that there was always this food on the table for the family, for the ohana. And so that's part of the values that I learned from my grandfather. And till today, I'm thankful for the teachings of our kupuna, and just thankful for our ancestors and the stories that I've heard throughout my, that's been passed down to us. And so it's just amazing how we can continue and to have those for our family. And mahalo na ohana i'o.
Thank you, Kumu Gaspar. So I know that the literal term for Kealakehe, they had said was the crooked path or the winding path. And when I heard Kumu Gaspar share just deeper meaning behind Kealakehe, I was thinking to myself at home, like, how do these two meanings, right? How can they, like, what is it that I'm learning about it? And I'm thinking to myself that in order to be enlightened, it doesn't just come like that, right? A lot of different experiences need to come your way in order to receive this enlightenment, right? A lot of experiences. And so when I think of Kealakehe, like to me, a winding path means like it's not just a straight path that's easy, but it's
Yeah.
one that has a lot of responsibility, a lot of kuleana, right? And we are so fortunate that we are blessed with that namesake. So we see the different hardships that we go on, our gifts, right? Our makana, to help us become the enlightened ones that we need to become, thanks to the ancestors who have brought us to this
Yes.
place. Yeah. So thank you so much, Kumu Gaspar, for
Mahalo,
that
Ms.
learning.
Weaver.
You guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget, if you want to go to Uplink, Uplink is at 2:33. And I emailed all of our haumana the schedule for today's Uplink. Thank you, you guys. Have a
Okay.
wonderful day. Aloha.
Aloha.
See you.
Was that 10 minutes?